Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS. Let's get to the news all right. Folks, buckle up because what I'm about to tell you could be a real game changer for the Falcons and the entire NFC South. Rumors are swirling around a potential blockbuster trade that could reshape the division's landscape. Specifically, the possibility of the Pittsburgh Steelers trading one of their most feared pass rushers, TJ Watt, to Atlanta. Now I know what you're thinking, TJ Watt? That's a huge name, and it's not every day you see a player of his caliber potentially changing hands mid-season. But hear me out. The Steelers, currently sitting at 6'4", have a cap situation that's not the best, around $15 million, and they're looking at options. Rumors suggest that they're open to trading Watt in exchange for a second-round pick in the 2026 draft. Why? Well, the Steelers are focusing heavily on rebuilding their offensive line with youth, trying to protect their future and give their QB more time in the pocket. Their defense, meanwhile, has been solid but not quite as dominant as in previous years, especially with injuries that have overburdened their pass rush. According to some insiders like Rossini, there's a sense that the pass rush has been struggling to stay at peak performance because of injuries, and the Steelers might be looking to shake things up by trading Watt, who, even at 8 years into his career, remains one of the most disruptive edge rushers in the league. Now, just imagine for a second what Watt could bring to the Falcons. This guy is a relentless force, a true all-pro caliber player who can change the course of games with his pass-rushing ability. Over the course of his career, Watt has accumulated over 350 total tackles, more than 100 sacks, and has been widely regarded as one of the most consistent and dominant defensive players in the NFL. His PFF grade has hovered around 91.2, and he has a win rate of roughly 32%, which is elite. Last season, in just 10 games, Watt put up 6 sacks, 38 pressures, and even added an interception for good measure. That's the kind of impact that can elevate a defense from good to great. For the Falcons, the idea of adding Watt is incredibly appealing. They're currently sitting at 3-7, and their defense has been a significant sore spot, especially in the pass rush. With only 20 sacks on the season, they're desperately searching for that extra edge to turn games around. Watt's presence on the line could be the spark that ignites their pass rush, which has struggled to consistently pressure opposing quarterbacks. Projections suggest that Watt could add around 10 more sacks, boosting pressures by over 22%, which would be a game changer. This kind of production could dramatically reduce opponents' success on third downs, especially considering their current third down defense allowing about 40%, which is quite high. Watt's ability to generate chaos in the backfield would complement the Falcons' current pass rush, which has been anchored by players like Ebakti. Adding a player of Watt's caliber would not only boost their sack totals, but also create more turnovers, forcing mistakes from rival quarterbacks. His presence could also help them improve their EPA versus the pass, which currently sits at -0.20. So on the field, Watt would be a force multiplier, making life miserable for opponents, and helping the Falcons create more scoring opportunities for their offense led by Desmond Ridder. Let's talk a little about the Steelers' side of things. They're a team that's in a bit of a rebuild, and while they have a solid defense overall, allowing about 120 rushing yards per game, they're struggling a bit against the pass, ranking around 38. 1% on third downs defensively. They need cap space to upgrade their wide receiver core, which is a priority for them in the coming offseason. Trading Watt, who is earning a substantial contract, could free up around $20 million in cap space. That's a significant boost, especially if they're eyeing some big-name free agents or draft prospects. However, there are some skeptics in the Steelers' camp. Highsmith, their young pass rusher, has been impressive, and some worry that trading Watt might create a drop in pressure production, potentially going from around 140 pressures down to closer to 100. It's a risk, but one that might be worth it if they're thinking long-term and want to rebuild their offensive weapons or improve their overall cap situation for the next few seasons. Now, shifting gears to the Falcons' perspective, this trade could be exactly what they need to take a giant leap forward. Their pass rush, as I mentioned, has only produced 20 sacks so far, which is below what you'd want from a team aiming for the playoffs. Adding Watt would give them an instant upgrade, adding around 10 sacks and significantly increasing pressures. His ability to collapse the pocket would help Atlanta's defense become more aggressive, forcing turnovers and putting the offense in better field position. This is especially crucial because their current offensive production can be inconsistent, averaging around 6 points per game, but with the right defensive support, they could turn close games into wins more often. The NFC South is fiercely competitive, with teams like the Buccaneers and Saints fighting for supremacy. The Falcons, with their 3-7 record, need a boost, and Watt's arrival could be that spark. His experience, combined with his relentless motor, reminds many of legends like Von Miller in his prime, players who generate chaos and create havoc for opposing offenses. Watt's presence would not only elevate the defense, but also send a message to the entire division that Atlanta is serious about competing for the division title and making a deep playoff run. And let's not forget the potential ripple effects. If Watt joins the Falcons, it could shift the division's power dynamics. The Buccaneers, currently at 6-4, have been impressive but inconsistent, and the Saints, at 5-5, are always dangerous. The addition of Watt would give Atlanta a critical edge in pass rushing, and that could be the difference-maker in tight division games down the stretch. Plus, with Watt's ability to generate pressure on key third downs, he could significantly improve the Falcons' ability to close out games and secure playoff positioning. Of course, this is still speculation at this point. The Steelers are known for being cautious with their assets, especially when it comes to trading away such a high-impact player. But the fact that discussions are even happening signals how serious the Falcons and their front office are about pushing their chips in for a competitive window. They're clearly looking to bolster their defense, and Watt fits the mold of what they're trying to build, an elite, disruptive force who can anchor their pass rush for years to come. Looking ahead, if the trade does happen, it could set off a domino effect in the NFC South. The Falcons would be viewed as serious contenders, and their defense would be significantly more formidable. This could make them a dangerous team to face in the playoffs, especially if their offense continues to develop under Ritter. The division race could become even more intense, with Atlanta suddenly transforming from a team fighting to stay afloat to a legitimate contender with a top-tier defense. And right now, the odds are looking pretty favorable. The lines suggest that the Falcons could see a +10, 0 chance to win the division or reach the playoffs earlier in the season. But if Watt comes aboard, those odds could tighten considerably, potentially dropping to +6, 0, or even better. That's a 40% boost, and for us fans, that kind of upgrade in odds fuels the hope that this team can make a real run. In conclusion, folks, this potential deal isn't just about acquiring a star pass rusher. It's about signaling to the league and to the NFC South that the Falcons are ready to take a step forward, that they're serious about contending and willing to make bold moves to do so. Watt's addition would be a statement, an announcement that Atlanta is building a defensive nightmare, a team that can challenge anywhere and anytime. For the Steelers, it's a tricky call. Rebuilding, cap space, and future prospects all come into play. But for us, fans of the Falcons, this is exactly the kind of move that can ignite a new era of success. So keep your eyes peeled, stay tuned, and let's see what the front office has up their sleeve. This could be the start of something big, and I can't wait to see how it unfolds. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Atlanta Falcons news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster? Do you think Watt would be the perfect piece to push us into serious playoff contention? Or do you believe the risk isn't worth it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Falcons. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news. This is a team that's always evolving, always fighting, and with moves like this, who knows? Maybe we're on the verge of something truly special. Keep the faith, keep the passion, and let's get ready for an exciting stretch run ahead.